Distraction is the enemy of greatness. In a world flooded with notifications, noise, and endless scrolling, the ability to focus deeply has become rare, and therefore incredibly valuable. Cal Newport's Deep Work is not just a productivity book. It's a manifesto for reclaiming your mind, mastering your craft, and rising above the shallow chaos of modern life. Newport defines deep work as the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. It's the kind of work that creates breakthroughs, builds careers, and leaves a legacy. But here's the problem. Most people never experience it. They live in a state of constant interruption. Emails, messages, meetings, and dopamine-driven habits that destroy their ability to concentrate. This book is a wake-up call. It reveals how shallow work, the kind that feels busy but achieves little, has become the default, and how deep work, the kind that moves the needle, is being lost. Newport doesn't just diagnose the problem. He offers a solution, system, a discipline. In this cinematic summary, we'll explore the core principles of deep work. We'll uncover why focus is the new superpower, how to build rituals that protect your attention, how to train your brain to resist distraction, and how to create a life where depth becomes your default. This isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter. It's about creating space for brilliance. Because in a world where everyone is distracted, the focused person wins. Stay with me until the end because this journey will not only change how you work, it will change how you live. Whether you're a student, entrepreneur, artist, or executive, deep work offers a path to excellence. And once you understand it, you'll never look at your time the same way again. In a world obsessed with speed, multitasking, and constant connectivity, Cal Newport makes a radical claim. The ability to do deep work is the most valuable skill of the 21st century. But what is deep work? Newport defines it as professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push your cognitive capabilities to their limit. These efforts create new value, improve skill, and are hard to replicate. Think about it. The most successful people, authors, coders, entrepreneurs, researchers, all have one thing in common. They carve out time for deep, focused work. They don't just react to emails. They build. They create. They solve hard problems. Newport contrasts this with shallow work, tasks that are non-cognitively demanding, often performed while distracted. These include checking notifications, attending meetings, responding to messages. Shallow work feels busy, but it rarely moves the needle. The value of deep work lies in its rarity and impact. In a distracted world, few people can focus deeply. That makes deep work a superpower. It's what allows you to learn complex things quickly, produce high-quality output, and stand out in a competitive market. Newport backs this up with research. He shows that deep work leads to better retention, faster learning, and more meaningful results. Whether you're writing a book, building a business, or mastering a skill, deep work is the path to excellence. But there's more. Deep work isn't just about productivity, it's about fulfillment. Newport argues that humans are happiest when they're deeply engaged in meaningful tasks. Flow states, where time disappears and focus intensifies, are deeply satisfying. So why don't more people do deep work? 'Cause it's hard. It requires discipline, boundaries, and intentionality. It means saying no to distractions, carving out time, and protecting your attention like your life depends on it. Newport shares examples of deep workers. Carl Jung building a stone tower to escape distraction, Bill Gates taking think weeks to read and reflect, and top coders who block entire days for uninterrupted programming. The message is clear. Deep work is not a luxury. It's a necessity. In a world of noise, those who master focus will dominate. Think about your own life. How much of your day is spent reacting versus creating? How often do you protect your time for deep focus? What could you achieve if you spent just 2 hours a day in deep work? The value of deep work is not just in what it produces. It's in who you become. Focused, disciplined, creative, powerful. And that's why Newport begins here. Before we build rituals, before we fight distraction, we must understand the value of depth. Because once you see it, you'll never settle for shallow again. Cal Newport doesn't just tell us that deep work is valuable. He shows us how to achieve it. In Part 2 of Deep Work, he lays out the rules. These are not vague suggestions. They are actionable strategies designed to help you build a life of focus, discipline, and excellence. Rule 1: Work deeply. Newport explains that deep work requires intention. You must design your environment, schedule, and habits to support it. This means eliminating distractions, setting boundaries, and creating rituals. Whether it's a quiet room, a time block, or a digital detox, deep work must be protected. He introduces 4 philosophies of deep work scheduling. Monastic: eliminate all shallow work like a monk. Bimodal: divide your time between deep and shallow work. Rhythmic: build a daily rhythm of deep work blocks. Journalistic: fit deep work in whenever possible, like a journalist on deadline. Choose the one that fits your life, but commit to it. Rule 2: embrace boredom. Most people reach for their phones the moment boredom strikes. Newport argues that this habit destroys your ability to focus. To do deep work, you must train your brain to tolerate boredom. He recommends scheduling breaks from focus, not breaks from distraction. This means setting specific times to check email or social media, and resisting the urge in between. The goal is to build mental stamina. Rule 3: quit social media. Newport doesn't say all social media is bad, but he challenges you to evaluate its value. Does it help you achieve your goals? Or does it fragment your attention? He introduces the craftsman approach. Use tools only if they offer substantial benefits and minimal downsides. If a platform distracts more than it helps, cut it. Rule 4: drain the shallows. Shallow work is necessary, but it must be minimized. Newport recommends scheduling every minute of your day. Not to be rigid, but to be intentional. He suggests, set limits on email and meetings. Batch administrative tasks. Track how much time you spend in deep versus shallow work. The goal is not perfection, it's awareness. Once you see how much time is wasted, you can reclaim it. Together, these 4 rules form a system. They help you build a life where deep work is not a rare event, but a daily habit. Newport's message is clear. Focus is not a gift, it's a skill. And like any skill, it can be trained. Think about your own life. Do you protect your time for deep work? Do you tolerate boredom or escape it? Do you use social media intentionally or compulsively? Do you know how much of your day is spent in shallow work? These rules are not just productivity hacks. They are a blueprint for excellence. Because in a distracted world, the focused person wins. Cal Newport argues that deep work is not just a productivity strategy. It is a philosophy of living. He calls it the deep life. This is the idea that true fulfillment comes not from constant busyness, but from dedicating yourself to meaningful, focused pursuits. Depth versus shallow living. Most people live shallow lives. They fill their days with emails, meetings, scrolling, and endless distractions. They feel busy, but they achieve little. Newport warns that shallow living leads to burnout, dissatisfaction, and mediocrity. The deep life, by contrast, is about intentionality. It means structuring your days around focus, discipline, and purpose. It means choosing depth over noise, quality over quantity, and meaning over distraction. Craftsmanship and meaning. Newport draws on the philosophy of craftsmanship. He argues that humans are wired to find meaning in creating things of value. Whether it's writing, coding, designing, or teaching, deep work allows you to produce something that matters. This craftsmanship mindset transforms work from a chore into a source of pride. When you focus deeply, you don't just complete tasks, you create excellence. The role of attention. Attention is the currency of the deep life. Newport explains that what you focus on shapes your reality. If your attention is scattered, your life feels fragmented. If your attention is disciplined, your life feels meaningful. He cites research showing that people are happiest when they are fully engaged in challenging tasks. This state of flow, where time disappears and focus intensifies, is deeply satisfying. The deep life is built on cultivating flow. Rituals and routines. To live deeply, you must design your environment and habits. Newport recommends creating rituals that protect your focus. This could mean setting fixed work hours, eliminating distractions, or building a workspace dedicated to deep work. He emphasizes that discipline is freedom. By setting boundaries, you free yourself from shallow demands and create space for depth, balance, and renewal. The deep life is not about working endlessly. Newport stresses the importance of rest, renewal, and balance. Deep work requires energy, and energy must be replenished. He advocates for downtime, exercise, and meaningful leisure. This balance ensures that deep work is sustainable. Without it, focus collapses into exhaustion. Living with purpose. Ultimately, the deep life is about aligning your work with your values. Newport challenges us to ask, what matters most? What legacy do you want to leave? What pursuits are worth your focus? By answering these questions, you design a life where deep work is not just a habit but a philosophy. Think about your own life. Do you spend your days reacting to shallow demands, or do you carve out time for meaningful pursuits? Do you protect your attention, or do you let it be stolen by distractions? Do you live intentionally, or do you drift? The deep life is not easy. It requires discipline, sacrifice, and clarity. But it offers something shallow living never can: fulfillment. Newport's message is clear. Depth is the path to excellence, meaning, and happiness. We live in a world of noise. Notifications, emails, endless scrolling, all competing for our attention. But Cal Newport's deep work reminds us of a timeless truth. Focus is the ultimate superpower. Throughout this journey, we've seen the value of deep work, the rules that protect it, and the philosophy of the deep life. Together, they form a blueprint for excellence. They show us that greatness is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters deeply. Think about what you've learned. Deep work allows you to master skills faster, produce higher quality results, and live with meaning. It transforms work from shallow busyness into craftsmanship, turns distraction into discipline, and it gives you an edge in a world where most people are drowning in noise. But here's the challenge. Deep work is rare. Few people practice it. That's why it's so powerful. If you commit to it, you separate yourself from the crowd. You become the person who creates, not just reacts. The person who builds, not just consumes. The person who thrives, not just survives. If this cinematic summary inspired you, imagine the impact of reading the full book. Cal Newport's deep work is more than a productivity guide. It's a manifesto for living intentionally. Has transformed careers, businesses, and lives. And now it can transform yours. Get your copy from Amazon to read the book completely. The link is given below in the description. And before you go, don't forget to like this video, share it with friends, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon. Because every week, we bring you cinematic book summaries that don't just inform, they transform.